Most people hear the word Oman and think of little more than a blank space on the map. Yet hidden beyond the headlines lies a country of dramatic mountains, endless deserts, ancient traditions, and some of the most breathtaking landscapes in the Middle East. Quiet, welcoming, and remarkably untouched, Oman remains one of the world's most overlooked destinations. This is the Oman few people ever get to see. This is Muscat, Oman, and it's nothing like you might expect. Muscat unfolds along the Gulf of Oman with the Al-Hajar Mountains as its dramatic backdrop. The skyline is surprisingly low-rise, dominated by white domes and elegant minarets, not glass towers. From the waterfront Corniche, you see traditional dhows bobbing in Mutra Harbour, a scene that's barely changed in centuries. Just inland, the Mutra Souk offers a maze of alleys and stalls. Here, Omani women in colourful dress sell frankincense, textiles, and silver, a living connection to the nation's trading past. The layout of the city reveals itself as a series of whitewashed neighbourhoods clustered along the coast. From street level, the architecture is a blend of clean lines and Islamic geometry. But for many visitors, the defining image of Muscat is its grand mosques. The Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque is the centerpiece. Its exterior, with walls glowing in the desert sun, draws you in. Step through an arabesque archway under glowing lanterns and you enter a vast courtyard of polished marble. The courtyard arcs gracefully around the central ablution fountain, framed by colonnades and intricate tilework. Beyond the arches, the mosque seems to float amid manicured gardens, a vision of Islamic artistry. Not far away, the Muhammad Al-Amin Mosque catches the first light of sunrise, its white dome and minarets turning gold. These mosques are living sanctuaries central to daily life in the city. The port, named after the late Sultan Qaboos, is a gateway to the sea. The rugged mountains rise almost directly from the water, creating a natural fortress around the city. And beyond the harbour, quiet beaches and turquoise oceans stretch along the coast, a reminder that Muscat remains deeply connected to the elements. Muscat doesn't scream for attention. Instead, it rewards those who look closely. A carved wooden door, a sun-bleached wall, the soft sound of prayer. It's a capital that remembers its roots while quietly embracing the present. When people hear Middle East, they often think of war, deserts, and tension. But Oman tells a different story. Its capital, Muscat, is one of the cleanest, safest, and most welcoming cities you can visit. Surrounded by the Al-Hajar Mountains and the turquoise Gulf of Oman, Muscat feels like an open-air museum of Arabian culture. Whitewashed buildings spread across the hillsides with minarets and domes rising above the skyline. At the heart of Islamic architecture here is the Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque, a place of serenity where intricate archways, lantern-lit corridors, and vast marble courtyards invite quiet reflection. Even non-Muslims can visit, a testament to Oman's openness. Along the waterfront, the Mutra Corniche offers a promenade where dhows and modern ships share the harbour, with the mountains as a constant backdrop. In the Mutra Souki, narrow alleys brim with traditional goods, and you can still find Omani women in traditional dress, a living culture proud of its heritage. Muscat is a city that respects its past while embracing the present, a safe haven that feels worlds away from the region's headlines. But beyond the mountains and the cities, Oman reveals a different face. This is Wahiba Sands, also known as Shachiya Sands, a sea of gold that seems to stretch beyond the edge of the world. From the ground, the silence is so complete you can almost hear the sun warming the sand. And yet, life has found a way here for centuries. Camels move through the dunes with a quiet, ancient rhythm. A young one stays close, learning from its mother how to navigate this harsh but beautiful landscape. They eat what little they can find, perfectly adapted to a place where water is a memory. The wind never stops, it sculpts the dunes into ever-changing waves, a landscape in constant motion. But at sunrise, the desert turns soft. The light catches every ridge, every curve, and for a moment, the emptiness feels like peace. Oman's beauty isn't just in its grand mosques or mountaintop forts. It's out here too, in the quiet expanse of the Wahiba Sands. It's a canyon so deep it swallows the horizon. Yet few outside Oman have heard its name. That is about to change. This is Jebel Shams, the Mountain of the Sun. It crowns the Al-Hajar range at over 3,000 meters, and it guards Wadi Ghul, the Grand Canyon of Oman. The road here feels like a pilgrimage. Through landscapes that seem carved by time itself. Dusty tracks wind between limestone giants. Every turn opens a new vista, layers of earth laid bare. The rim, a sudden drop of more than a kilometer. The canyon is so vast that it distorts your sense of depth. The opposite wall can seem close, almost within reach, until you see a bird glide for minutes and still not cross it. Down on these cliffs, life is a study in resilience. The Arabian tar moves across vertical rock as if born to it. few creatures that call this extreme altitude home. Late afternoon, the sun begins its slow descent. The stone catches fire, amber, rust, deep violet. Transforms from geometry into mood. Shadows pour into the abyss, and the mountain holds its breath. Jebel Shams isn't a postcard. It's a place that forces you to reckon with scale, with deep time. And for a fleeting moment, you understand exactly how small you are. Oman, you might think of endless dunes. But travel inland and a defiant silhouette rises against the Hajar Mountains, Nizwa Fort. For centuries, this fortress was the seat of power in Oman, a bulwark of imams and the heart of a thriving civilization. Its massive circular tower, studded with defensive loopholes, overlooks a labyrinth of mud brick streets and bustling souks that still operate today. From above, the fort is surrounded by a sea of date palms, evidence of Nizwa's historical role as an oasis trading hub. The fort's thick walls and strategic hilltop position speak to a time when controlling this crossroads meant controlling the entire region. Beyond the city walls, the terrain shifts dramatically. In the mountain village of Muscat al-Abriyen, stone houses cascade down the slope, fed by ancient Falaj irrigation systems that have sustained life here for millennia. This centuries-old settlement is a testament to the ingenuity of Omani mountain communities who turned a harsh landscape into a verdant home. Nizwa isn't a relic frozen in time, it's a living link between Oman's past and its present-day identity. Just inland, the Bimmah Sinkhole punctures the limestone plain. Hajar Mountains, a narrow canyon splits the rock. Follow the path between towering cliffs, and suddenly the landscape opens onto something unexpected. Pools of impossible turquoise, fed by freshwater springs. Palm trees lean over the water's edge, their shade a welcome contrast to the sun-baked stone. On a clear day, the pools look almost unreal. A secret oasis tucked away from the desert heat, where the water invites you to swim in its crystal depths. Leave the desert behind, and you find yourself on a coast that feels more like Sri Lanka than the Arabian Peninsula. This is Salalah, the southernmost governorate of Oman, and for 3 months every year it is transformed by a monsoon unlike anything else in the Gulf. The locals call it Kharif, a season of mist, drizzle, and sudden green that turns the mountains into a tropical oasis. Out on the coastal highway, the first thing you notice is the light. The sea off Salalah is a vivid turquoise that seems too saturated to be real. Limestone cliffs rise straight from the water, carved into sheer walls and hidden coves. The road clings to the edge, a ribbon of asphalt between the Arabian Sea and the rock. Every turn reveals a new bay, sometimes empty, sometimes dotted with families picnicking under the palms. Step down onto the sand, and the Indian Ocean crashes against rocky outcrops, sending spray high into the air. The beaches here can be anything you need them to be, busy with laughter during the holidays, or completely deserted, just white sand, driftwood, and the pulse of the tide. Wait until twilight, when the sky catches fire and the sea turns silver. One lone figure walks the tide line, and the whole coast feels suspended between day and dream. Are everywhere, their fronds rattling in the monsoon breeze. They line the beaches, cluster around villages, and fringe the roads. This is the part of Salalah that confounds expectations. People come to Oman for desert forts and golden dunes, but here they find papayas growing beside date palms and tropical flowers blooming in the mist. It's an Arabia that rarely gets photographed. And then there are the camels. They graze along the roadsides, sometimes wandering onto the pavement, utterly indifferent to the traffic. They step out of the haze with the mountains behind them, as natural here as the coconut trees. For centuries, they were the backbone of the frankincense caravans that once made this region one of the wealthiest on earth. Those caravans set out from ports like Khor Rori, whose ruins still crown a hill overlooking the sea. Stone walls and old foundations mark the spot where frankincense was loaded onto ships bound for Rome and Babylon. The view from the fort takes in the full arc of the coast: white sand, turquoise shallows, and the dark shapes of the mountains. It's a landscape that money and myth have long fought over. Those mountains dominate the horizon. Jebel Shams rises in a series of steep limestone escarpments, their tops often hidden in cloud. During the Kharif, the slopes turn a lush green that seems to cling defiantly to the rock. Waterfalls appear in the wadis, and the high plateau becomes a grazing ground for camels and cattle. The ridges look like folds in a green velvet cloth, stretching all the way to the sea. Salalah is a place of crossings between desert and tropics, between ancient trade and modern tourism, between the Arabia you expect and the one that actually exists. The monsoon will pass, the green will fade. But for a few months each year, this corner of Oman offers a different kind of journey. One where the sea is bright, the air is cool, and the camels still roam free.